students. I'm back with the topic from history. When we talk about our Indian history, then the first thing come to our mind is British Raj or British rule over India. One war battle from 18th century played a very significant or important role to establish military supremacy and political stake of East India Company in India. And that war was Battle of Plassey. Hence, it is very important to know about Battle of Plassey in detail. Sometimes some topics are not given much weightage in syllabus, but it becomes necessary to know about it in detail. It will help students while writing answers of questions in detail to score better. By the mid of 18th century, Mughal Samrajya or Mughal Empire which was controlling most of the Indian subcontinent, was in a state of collapse. And East India Company was one of the powerful competitor which was trying to establish their political and economic stake in India. At that time, Bengal was the richest province in India. Part of Bihar, Orissa and today's West Bengal were within the territories of Bengal. You could see that blue circle. Siraj-ud-Dowla was the Nawab of Bengal. He was ruling Bengal at that time. He was trading with French as well as East India Company. East India Company was preparing its military against French and also interfering in local politics of Bengal, which Nawab did not like and asked them to stop, but East India Company refused. Nawab got angry, and in year 1756, on 20th June, he attacked Fort William of Calcutta, that is today's Kolkata, which was a stronghold of East India Company. He captured the Fort William and he did something very heinous to avenge East India Company's refusal. He confined the British prisoners and some locals in a small dungeon on Fort William. That dungeon was as small as 14 by 18 feet. Prisoners were crushed in that dungeon. Almost 123 of 146 prisoners died of suffocation and heat. And that dungeon was called as Black Hole. One of the survivors of that Black Hole incident said that. And this Black Hole incident became the reason for the Battle of Plassey. Then the Lieutenant Colonel Robert Clive of East India Company had started planning for the war. He met demoted Commander-in-Chief Mir Jafar and some of the ministers of Siraj-ud-Dowla, the Nawab, and bribed them. He offered the position of Nawab to Mir Jafar if he kills Siraj-ud-Dowla, and it worked. Mir Jafar agreed. Robert Clive planned the attack on the banks of Ganges River. This was the map of the plan prepared by Robert Clive. On 23rd June 1757, at village Plassey, that is Plassey, on the banks of Ganges River and 150 kilometers to the north of Calcutta or Kolkata, the battle was fought. That is why it is called Battle of Plassey. It was fought in between Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla and East India Company. The Lieutenant Colonel Robert Clive was the commander of East India Company for this battle. Nawab had big army of almost 50,000 men, and even French army was on the side of Nawab, while Robert Clive relatively had small army of 3,800 Indian troops. Mir Jafar, who was leading the Nawab's 16,000 men army, refused to fight, and hence Nawab's army got disheartened. It became easy for British to defeat Nawab. Nawab lost the battle within 40 minutes. This is the village Plassey or Palashi. Do you see the red mark? Yes, it is the place in today's India where the battle or war was fought. After this win, Robert Clive was made the governor of Bengal, and whole Bengal came under the power of East India Company. Bengal was the first province captured by East India Company. Slowly and steadily, they fought with other local rulers and captured provinces of India one by one. This is how East India Company has come into power in India. Then rest is the history. After that, East India Company and then British ruled over India for 200 years, that is for 2 centuries. This is the map published by East India Company in 1857. And do you see the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go back and I will show you. Yes. Do you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah. These are the provinces captured by them in 18th century. So this is all about the Battle of Plassey. So let's revise all the facts of Battle of Plassey now. Okay. Battle of Plassey was fought on June 23rd, 1757 at Plassey on the banks of Ganges River in Bengal. Two sides were led by Nawab of Bengal Siraj-ud-Dowla and British Colonel Robert Clive and Admiral Charles Watson. Clive had bribed demoted Commander-in-Chief Mir Jafar and other ministers of Siraj-ud-Dowla to cheat Nawab in battle. Siraj-ud-Dowla lost the battle in 40 minutes despite having more soldiers, as Mir Jafar and other ministers refused to come to Nawab's aid or Nawab's help. Feels bad after hearing and watching all this, right? Yes. History is a mix of successes and failures of our ancestors. We might feel bad on the failures, but then it gives us great learnings. We can learn from the mistakes made by humankind in past. Also, success stories from history motivate to be brave and be an achiever. So I would like you to do an exercise now. Write in brief what you have learned from Battle of Plassey. You can write in a comment box, or you can go to the school's Facebook page or drop in the message there. I hope you understood the Battle of Plassey well. Thank you.